Well, you already seen my top 6 comic book buys of the year, but you haven't seen my top 6 signed comic books of the year. Stick around. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Superpower Review, the show that brings you news and reviews on comic book related things. I'm your host, Ken Vidinia, and I'm super excited to reveal my top 6 signed comic book buys of 2018. So let's not waste another minute and let's get into number 6, shall we? The first one I'm going to show you has made multiple appearances here on the show, and that's going to be a Batman number 251. This one's coming at number 6 only because of the bad taste that I have in my mouth from the experience I had. I already had one of these, a nice raw copy. So I was at Boston Comic-Con. Neil Adams happened to be there, and I bought another one just so he could have it signed. So my bad experiences, and if you've seen my previous episode on my Boston Comic-Con experience, I bought this book and I went to go bring it over to Neil Adams to have it sign it, and I specifically asked him to sign on the Batman logo, which I think would be really cool, not in black, but in a metallic color. I think that would be really nice looking if a metallic color was like over that Batman logo. But he declines and told me that he only signs this book in a black Sharpie right over that little logo that you see on your screen right here. You know, nonetheless, I'm really excited to have this in the collection because it is it's my top favorite Batman covers of all time. And it was really nice to meet him, even though he's kind of a butthole, I guess. I think that's the best word to describe Neil Adams. So really cool to have this one in the collection. This one's coming in at number 6. Great Batman cover, one of my favorites, and it was cool to have another one signed by Neil Adams. So I like to have these displayed back to back with my nice, really clean copy, the one that you saw last week, and with this one. So really cool. You guys seen this comic book here this comic book cover has made multiple appearances here on the show. So this one's going to definitely come in at number 6. All right, number 5. Number 5, again, has made multiple appearances on this show. Number 5, I'm going to go with the Amazing Spider-Man number 316, graded at a 9.4. The only reason why this is going to be coming in at number 5 is, if you can get the grade up here, Cody, it came back with off-white to white pages, and that's kind of a bummer for me. Not the biggest deal, but it's okay. Let me kind of shine it, yeah, so you can get more of the signature. That looks cool. That's a dark signature. So obviously, beautiful cover art by Todd McFarlane. As you know, Todd McFarlane is one of my favorite artists, and I think he is the artist that I have the most signed books from. I definitely bought a lot of graded things. And I would have to say this year I bought more graded books than anything, and more signed books than anything. This was way harder to do than my last show because I bought way more signed stuff than I did with just regular things. This one happens to be a newsstand edition, so you can see here for the UPC barcode you can see there. I wasn't trying to get a news edition, but that's okay. I don't really care if it comes in news edition or direct edition. Sometimes I like the direct edition better because you get like a little extra piece of comic book art. But nonetheless, awesome cover art by Todd McFarlane. I love this guy, and I love to have a lot of books signed by him. So this one's going to come at number 5 only due to the off-white to white pages. So not a big deal, but I absolutely love having this book. So the next book I'm going to show you, I sadly do not have in my possession. I just recently sent it off to get it signed. And this is going to be number 4. This is going to be my Dark Knights Metal number 5. It is signed by Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder, if we can show that here. This one's coming in at number 4 only because there's a couple of firsts in here. This is my first Greg Capullo signature, and this is also my first Scott Snyder signature. But this one has to come at number 4 because can we just admire how amazing Gabriel Delato's artwork is, especially for this Batman Who Laughs. I absolutely love this cover, and this is probably going to be one of my top covers that I own. I'm super excited to send this off to CGC, but as As you guys all know, I hate sending off my books. It really literally kills me. I have one more picture where I have it displayed next to my Batman Who Laughs statue made by Diamond Select Toys. In this picture, you kind of see the signatures a little bit better than the first one, so it looks really nice. Graded at 9.8. This one was really cool to have in the collection, and I didn't really spend a lot of money on that one, actually. This one was actually kind of on the really fair side. And another really cool thing about this book, too, if you've seen previous episode with my friend Jake Barnell, we have the same book together. It's signed by the same people, looks identical. They're like twins. So he also recently sent off that book too to get signed by Gabriel Delato. So I'm really excited to get that book back. I made specific notes on my sheet that you fill out all the information that it has to be signed in the same color. If that book comes back not signed in the same color as the other signatures, it's gonna ruin my day. I'm gonna be really bummed out. Someone's not gonna be happy, and it's not gonna be me. All right, so we're gonna go moving on to number 3, and number 3 is a really cool one. This is also another first for me. Was my first for me. Now number 3 is gonna go with The Dark Knight Returns number 2. This is signed by Frank Miller. This is my favorite cover from the Dark Knight Returns series. I just really love how cool this cover is. He's all ripped up, he's beaten up, and he looks, Batman looks like he's seen better days. Graded at a 9.0. Again, another really decent buy. A lot of books this year where I was like, this happened to be one of them where it wasn't really on the radar, and then all of a sudden you see one, and you're like, you know what, I feel like I kind of need that. I have a problem. Signed by Frank Miller. It's a really good signature. Great placement of the signature. Signed in black Sharpie, which is not a big deal. Again, as you all know, I like to have my books signed in a metallic color. It just makes it a little more special for me, and it just gives it that pop, a little pizzazz. If I were to pick a metallic color for this book to be signed in, I think I would have picked silver. But black looks nice. It just kind of, it's out in the open. You can see it. If it wasn't silver, maybe you would have to like look for it a little bit more and kind of find it. But a really cool cover. My top favorite cover for the Dark Knight Returns series. So really cool book to have. So that's definitely going to come in at number 3. All right, coming in at number 2. We're just trucking around here, trucking along. Number 2, this happens to be a birthday present to me from the wifey. Number 2 is coming in with a Spider-Man number 1 signed by the Todd Father. Yes, bow, Todd Father, nice. Again, a really cool cover. This was another book that was not on my radar for the year. eBay was having a huge sale, percentage sale, and I saw this. So again, someone was selling something really cheap, probably due to the fact that 1, they didn't know the worth of the book, or 2, that they just really needed the money really fast and put it up on eBay and see what would happen. So I ended up snagging this, showing this to my wife. The wife bought it for me for my birthday, which was really nice. Thank you, babe. And I really like this one only because I love this cover. It's a classic cover, classic Todd McFarlane cover, and can we just appreciate the perfect placement? I love signature placement, and I think the signature placement on this book is just absolutely perfect. It's like almost a perfect line, no? This is hands down one of my favorite Spider-Man covers by Todd McFarlane. I really love this cover, and it strikes home to me because this came out in August of 1990, which is like a month before my birthday, which is pretty cool. So this comic book is just a little bit older than me by a month, and I find that pretty fascinating. It's pretty cool. It's just as old as me. So pretty cool. So this is definitely coming in at number 2. And then, oh my goodness, where did the time go? We're already at number 1. Number 1, this one, I think this one's going to be coming in at number 1 only because how exciting this was. for one, and number two, this was not on the radar for the year, but again, just saw it and was like, yeah, I need that because again, I have problems. This is number one's coming at with the Dark Knight Returns number one. Even though I said that the other one I felt like was the better cover, this one's just really cool, and the signature really looks cool. Again, metallic colors, man. I love metallic colored signatures. They just look so cool. But this one was not on the radar, but again, someone was selling it really cheap, and I was like, yeah, I feel like I need to have that. So I feel like this one's coming in at number one because how exciting this purchase was for this book and how exciting it was to actually have in my hands. So a lot of firsts this year. So these are my 2 signed Frank Miller books for the year. I am looking to get a Frank Miller signed Wolverine number one for the new year. That would be cool. That's on the want list, but this is definitely really cool, a really cool book to have. And it's really hard to find this book nowadays, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it, but it's really hard to find this book, signed and then not getting the second printing. This is one of these books that I feel like you do have to get graded, because it is really extremely hard to find out if these are a first print or a second print, only because, as we all know, that DC Comics did not write if they were a first print or a second print on the inside of the cover. There's like things saying like, well, if you match up the grays in the cover between the first page, if they are not matching, then that means it's a second print. If they match, then it's a first print. I don't know. I've heard all sorts of things, and I just don't really trust it. I do have a raw copy, and I bought it from someone. They told me it's a first print. I just pretty much bought it just to believe them. But there's just so many things. So if you were to get one of these, if you were to buy one of these, I would already buy one graded, in my opinion, only because it will tell you on the label if it's a first print. If it doesn't say anything, that means it's a first print. But if it's a second print, it will say right here, second print. So this is definitely coming in at number one. Really cool to have these. I mean, it was so hard to pick between these books. It really was. There were so many signed books that I bought for the year that I'm like, man, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. I don't even know if this would be the right order. My decisions change here and there. I flip-flop, but definitely really cool books to buy. There were so many books to pick. And, I had so many Venom stuff, and I was like, man, I wish you could go on the show, but there's just other really cool things. I thought about maybe doing 8 or 10, but I didn't. I just thought a good number would be number 6. So really cool to have these in the collection. So, and I think that's going to do it for today's episode. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you liked anything that you saw in this video, make sure you give the video a like. And then you can always tell me what you thought of the show in the comment section below, or even give me some feedback or some what you would like to see in future shows. That would be cool too. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys really soon.